bags that retail for around $2.99 a piece at stores are now selling on eBay for hundreds of dollars.
Is this a joke? Hi, do you guys have the mini tote bag in stock?
No, we sold out completely yesterday. They're done.
Hi, do you guys have the mini tote bags in stock?
We're all out.
Hi, do you have the Trader Joe mini tote bags in stock?
No. Everywhere in the region's going to be out of them at the moment.
Based on Trader Joe website, the mini tote is about 13 inches long, 11 inches tall, and 6 inches wide. And since I can't get a hold of an actual one to determine what is the size of the front pocket, I decided to just kind of divide this front panel into 3 parts and then make that this front pocket. For the pockets, I went with a width and height of 5.5 inches, which I thought was a perfect fit. It wasn't until I placed it on the top panel with the handle that I realized it was a little short. I wanted the pocket to be around 3/4 of the back height. After experimenting with different height options, I increased the height to 8 inches. For the handles, I'm thinking about a 32-inch height. I don't really know what is the width of the straps, but based on the photo, it looked extra thick. So I decided to do a 2-inch strap. The other thing I do not know is what is the length of the straps. By length, I mean the height for the shoulder and arm, this gap. I wish that Trader Joe website would have tell you a little more about the back dimension, kind of like an engineering drawing, but since we don't have that, let's make one. Here's my engineering drawing for the back. How I figure out the handling. Put it around my arm. So I think this is what it is, the exact length. Feel like it's meant to be worn around your arm, but if you really want to wear around your, what you call this, shoulder, it's a little tight. So I think this is the perfect size. While I was attaching the strap to the front panel, I learned that I made it harder for myself by top stitching the strap before adding it to the bag. This meant I now had to perfectly align every stitch so that the double stitching would not be visible. Oh, in case you were wondering about the total length of the strap pieces, I just cut strips off my canvas and it turned out to be perfect. And I believe the canvas fabric I have is a 48-inch wide, so if I fold it in half, it will be a 24-inch strip. Based on the image I gathered from online, it looks like the seam that connects the front and the back panel together is on the side here. My plan for sewing this back together consists of 2 main front panels, the top and the bottom. The bottom panel will have 3-inch square cutouts to create a 6-inch depth. I also noticed that the back does not come with an interior lining. That would typically mean that it was sewn using a serger to seal in the raw edges. The only problem here is that I do not have a serger. I figured it out. My solution is to use French seam sewing technique. This technique requires sewing along the raw edges, trimming close to the sewing line, and then sewing the edge again on the opposite side with a larger seam allowance. A 3-step process instead of a 1-step process with a serger, but look at that edge. I repeated the same process to put all the panels together. It also worked great for the box corners. It's all finished. I now have my own Trader Joe mini tote. So cute. I was comparing this bag to the Trader Joe mini totes, and I realized we are missing a logo. So let's go make a logo for our bag. I wanted this logo to look exactly like Trader Joe's logo font style and design. But there was one problem. Trader Joe logo is a proprietary font. Luckily for me, a designer created a similar one based on the actual logo. I used a color matching tool to get the color and added a circle to mimic the design on their tote bags. Now we just need to print it and then iron it on the bag. Alright, we have acquired the logo. I just realized that I have a white iron-on transfer paper. It's not transparent. It's a white background. So if I iron the letter on with the paper, that means the paper will be visible. If you have a Cricut machine or a Silhouette, this will be easier. I don't have any of that, so my solution is to use an X-Acto knife. I didn't plan this out well. The font has a lot of curves, which make it very difficult to cut out. But that wasn't the hardest part. The most difficult part was removing the thin circle, especially since this was my first time doing this. To make up for the mistake I made previously, I attempted to remove the white background from the logo, but everything was super permanent after ironing. Okay, there is no way of doing that. Besides that, I also discovered that heat transfer really easily. When I was ironing this side of the panel and I flipped it over, I realized that the heat of the heat press was able to go to the fabric and then heat the side up, and a majority of the letter got into my iron mat. If I were to do this bag again, I would add the logo before I sew the bag. That way, you don't run into the issue where whenever you heat one side to add the logo, the other side start peeling off and flaking off because it gets so hot and then it gets stuck to the ironing mat. The red ink here also got into my heating press, and so when I heat pressed my bottom corners, I got red ink stain. Not fun. I also was very clumsy, and I totally forgot the letter T and S that I cut off, so now I'm trying to patch it. Except for those two problems, the back look great. I think the red logo on this bag really make the color pop. The bright yellow and the bright red. Wow. I think it's time for some bag modeling.